Hello, singers. So today I want to give you guys some tips on how to practice your repertoire. So first of all, what is repertoire? Repertoire is your songs. So it's a list of songs that any performer is prepared to perform at any given time. So basically it's the list of songs that you're working on practicing or that you have ready for performance. So this is like the main part of your practicing. It's the fun part, the music. Tip number 1. First thing that you want to do when you are practicing your repertoire is you want to sing through your entire piece from beginning to end. Do not stop, no matter what happens. Doesn't matter if you make a mistake, if you sound bad, doesn't matter. Just go from beginning to end without stopping. A quality of a good performer isn't necessarily that they don't ever make mistakes, but that when they do make mistakes, that they're able to recover from it and that it doesn't throw off the entire rest of their performance and that they're able to go on and continue their performance. So as you're going through and singing this first time, you want to take notes. So you can do this a few different ways. One way is set up a camera, record yourself, sing it, and then go back and listen to it and take notes. Second way that you can do it is just as you sing, you can take notes, and this will be a little bit faster and easier. The easiest way to do it is just as you're reading through your sheet music and singing through, when you get to a spot that's a little iffy or that you mess up on, circle it in your music. You could also easily just on a blank piece of paper write down like lyrics of spots that you need to go back and fix. But personally for me, the circling thing is the easiest, fastest way to get through things. Second thing you want to do when you're practicing is go through and look at all of those problem spots. So if you recorded, you can go listen to the recording. If you circled in your music, go back and look at your music. And so look and find the problem spots that you want to focus on for this practice session. Probably only want to look at a few per practice session unless you're going to be practicing for hours and hours on end. So you can really focus your practice and really perfect the part of your song that you're working on. So once you've decided which parts of your song you're going to work on based on your circles, you want to locate your specific problem spot. So go and sing through like the entire verse of the area of the song that you've got an issue with, and then see if you can pin it down to an exact line or even to a few words or notes that you're struggling with. And then you want to isolate those things you're having trouble with. And so what you want to do is you want to slow it down a lot, even if it's just going individually between two notes so that you can practice getting your voice to flip between those two notes in the context on the words that you're using. And then slowly bring the tempo back up to where it's supposed to be. And then hopefully if you've done it correctly, then any of your note or rhythm problem spots that you were having have now been fixed. Something else you can use when you're doing this is if you know rhythm syllables or solfege syllables, those can be really helpful in isolating problem spots and fixing those pitches, especially if you do not have a piano. Third tip for practicing, so the next thing that you can look at is going to be breathing. So obviously as a singer, breathing is a huge part of our practice. It's super important and it really guides our entire song. Our breath guides our voices. First thing you want to do when you're thinking about breathing is you want to decide where you're going to breathe. And unlike what we were doing before, you're not going to do this just by singing through your song. You're actually going to do it by speaking through your song. So you want to just sit down and just read through your lyrics as if it was a poem or a speech, or if you were just saying it to somebody. And what you want to do is note where you naturally breathe in this speech pattern that's created by the lyrics of the song. And so you can mark these in your music in a few different ways. I know a lot of voice teachers who like putting little check marks for breaths. You can also put a little comma mark is what's actually a breath mark written in music. Personally, I like putting little slash lines through my music because it's really like bold and it really shows you where you want to break up the phrases. Once you go through your entire song, deciding where it makes sense to breathe based on the lyrics. Then go through, sing through the song, and try it with these breaths. You might need to tweak a few things based on the notes and how it's working in your voice and say you need an extra breath here or there. But using this natural speech pattern of how the lyrics work is a really great place to start when planning where to breathe in a song. When you're taking notes in your music, you always want to use pencil because like I just said, you might be changing where you're breathing. As you practice the song, you might realize that, oh, this doesn't work so well and I want to breathe somewhere else. You might try different things and sometimes different things work. Also, then when you circle your problem spots, as I was saying before, you can erase them once you fix them. So when you practice your song, you want to focus on always breathing in these same spots that you've decided to breathe, because then you know you can get through your phrases as you've practiced on the amount of breath that you have. And then when you're in a performance, and we all know nerves make us crazy and nervous, then we don't even have to think about our breathing, which we all know when we get anxious, a lot of times that makes our breath go faster. But if your body is just attuned to always breathing in the exact same spot every time you sing the song, it'll make your performance a lot better, and it will help your breath support a lot. One last thing that you can do to help work on breath support in your songs is if you sing through your phrases that you're having trouble with breath support on lip trills. So lip trills are the where you're just blowing air through your lips and then singing on a pitch. And so what this does is it forces you to use more air to really get your lips moving. And so when you sing through the phrase on that, it really helps to train you to use more air when singing that phrase. So if you sing through it on the lip trill, then immediately go back and sing through it on lyrics, you'll probably notice that you're naturally using more breath because of the way that the lip trill exercises makes your body breathe. Tip number 4 for things to look at when you are practicing your repertoire is phrasing and dynamics. So after you've done all of those other things, you've dealt with your pitches, you've dealt with your breathing, then you can start looking at your phrasing and dynamics. So when you're thinking about phrasing, you want to think about the natural way that your voice rises and falls when you are speaking through your lyrics. So again, you could use this as go through like we did with the breathing, speak through and hear the way your voice naturally rises and falls, and try to emulate that in your music. So you can see how the way that the composer wrote the notes naturally rising and falling fits in with the way that you would naturally speak the lyrics that they put those notes on. In this, you want to think about your dynamics. So whether you're performing accurate dynamics based on what's written in the music, or if there's no dynamics written in the music, appropriate dynamics for the song. So remember, your dynamics and your phrasing are really what bring across the emotion in your song. When you're focusing on this aspect of it, you're really trying to bring out those emotions and use the changing in volume, which is your dynamics, planning that and how it fits in with the lyrics to really evoke the strongest emotion that you want. So, in conclusion, the key to practicing your repertoire is repetition, repetition, repetition. That's what practice is all about, is just repeating things, slowing it down, repeating, and then making it faster again. One thing that I hear a lot of people say is practice makes perfect, but a phrase that I like better is practice makes permanent, not perfect. Practice only makes perfect if you're practicing perfectly. So the key to successful music practice isn't just to do it over and over and over again, but each time you do it, the goal is to improve it and make it a little bit better each time. So we're working towards making it that perfect version of our performance, the perfect performance that we can do of this song. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope that this video gave you some things to think about when you're practicing and some tools to use when you're working on your music. And I hope to see you again in future videos. Please like and subscribe for more little singing tutorials in the future.